Well, hello there. This is my how to make a Godzilla suit, or how to make a giant monster suit, your choice type of monster. But anyways, this is going to I'm going to walk through the process of what I did to make this suit. And this is coming from a complete novice. I've never made a costume, never sewed anything, never did anything like this. And so this is kind of a beginner amateur approach, and you'll be able to see what I did and kind of see the results. And if you think it's good, you might want to try one yourself. It's been a really fun project. I learned a lot of things as I went along, and so basically I'm just going to try to help anyone who might be interested in trying to do this themselves. Okay.
My first step was to make a duct tape dummy. I did this because I knew I was going to need something that I would be able to put the foam on to start to make the foam body. I needed something that I could build off of, so that was the first step. Then once I had that dummy, then I was able to start putting the foam pieces together and start to shape that body out. Even though I had the duct tape dummy, I would try on the suit as I would go along to make sure that things were going to fit properly, and also so that I could continue to conceptualize where things were going to go, like the spikes, the tail, and everything like that. Since I'm not actually an artist, I've never sculpted or did anything like that, the head was going to present a challenge. So I looked at some sites on how fursuits and mascot heads were made, and I kind of got my idea of how to do that out of foam, and I did the best I could as far as the carving and shaping went. And it's made out of foam. I used some plastic things that I had to kind of solidify it on the inside, make it solid, and I also used a CPAP head strap that I had so that I can put the head on and cinch it up nice and tight so it stays where it needs to be. Next came making the spines, which I used a cardboard base, covered it with spray foam. I also laced some LED Christmas lights into it and then carved out the shapes for the spines themselves. And you can see when they're lit up, it looks pretty cool. I then made the tail. Basically what I used for a base for that is I took one of those foam swimming noodles, and then I cut circular pieces out of cardboard and batted them with foam, and that created kind of like a skeleton on the inside so that the tail wouldn't just be a dragging piece of foam, and so it actually has kind of a structure to it, and that's what I did. And then that also gave me something to reinforce the connection to the suit itself so that someone can just pull it and it would come off. Now that you have the suit all made out of foam, comes the next step, which is you have to cover the entire thing with cloth. Basically, I use 2 old bed sheets, and I cut them in the shapes and sizes that they needed to be, and glued it down with a spray glue, and did the edges with a hot glue. And you have to do that because otherwise the latex is going to soak into the foam like a sponge, and it's going to be very difficult to work with. So you want a cover layer of material first before you put the latex on. The final step is to cover the suit in liquid latex. You have the foam, the cloth, and then basically you take liquid latex, and what I did is I mixed the paint in with it so that the latex would have a color to it. And so I took interior liquid latex charcoal black paint and mixed it with the pure liquid latex, and that basically created the color that I have on the suit. I did that for about 4 to 5 layers depending on the parts of the body or what parts I was doing of that, which makes the suit fairly thick and heavy and hot, but it does bring everything together, and it works out very well. A few final notes. A couple things I did is that I did include fans into the build. I have 2 fans in the head, one that blows air towards my face and one in the back as well. I also have 3 fans in the body that circulate air into it, and then I have 1 fan that actually blows air out. And so that helps to kind of keep things from getting too hot, or at least not being able to breathe at all. Well, making the suit was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot of things doing it, and I hope this video will help you if you're considering making your own suit. Like I said, I was a complete novice. I had no clue of what I was doing when I began, and if I can make a suit, pretty much anybody can. And the overall cost, I was able to keep this all under about $500 altogether, and so that's not too bad either compared to Toho cost. And finally, I finally get to be the guy in the suit. I get to be Godzilla, and how can you beat that?